now tuned in. The most talked about podcast in the country. DT, Unfiltered and Uncensored. Now here's your host, DT. Yo, it's your boy DT from DT's Unfiltered Uncensored here on my show, Unfiltered Truth. And today I got a special show going on. A 5-part series, which we're talking about music, something I love. Like everybody knows, I tell y'all all the time, I love music, and I've been listening to music since I probably since I came out of my mom's stomach. So that's I listen to music 24/7. If it's not sports, it's music. So they like both of my passions are both there. So today, I brought some guests on my platform to sit down. We'll talk about the journey in music. And first, to my right, which is your left, is the lady who I met through the guy on my left, who's on right platform. We was in a competition we did, and a lot of y'all, my fans, seen I posted, vote for me, vote for me. I'm trying to win. I had the 90s. She has the 70s. I don't know how I lost, but I had the 90s. She has the 70s. And we battled against each other. And we started out at the beginning and go against each other. We made it to the final bracket. And she won. Don't know how. I think they cheated. You know, it was rigged. I'm just say it was rigged. No, I'm just kidding. I lost fair and square. And I told her if I lost to anybody, I wanted it to be to her because we had built the kind of bond and we were talking back and forth and mess, and it was friendly mess. So I want to introduce to my show the lovely, beautiful. Oh, no, I ain't gonna do that. Keisha.
Hey everybody, I am Keisha. I'm from Atlanta, but originally from South Carolina. I've been in Atlanta almost 10 years now. And I beat him fair and square because like he said, music is life. Music is life for me. Just listening to my mom when she plays her music on Saturday mornings to clean up, that's how I really got into music. And when it comes to old school, that's just me all the way. So again, I'm Keisha from South Carolina.
Awesome. And thank you for being on the show with me
Thank you for
today.
having me.
And to my left, which is your right, is one of the best Instagram platforms out there, especially when it comes to music. Like when I first started following him and listening, watching his platform, very humble, no arrogance, no cockiness. I actually sent him a message. He responded back. Unlike some of these other platforms, when you send them messages, they think they too good, especially to follow you back because I got to keep my followers on up, but I'm following low, and especially when you get them props. But I gave him props and I told him I like what he doing. He hit me back and he messaged me and we went forward, and then we kind of built the friendship off the Instagram and love everything he does. And it's a great platform. I'm being honest. I'm not saying this just to say this. I love his battles. I love his battles of the music. I always vote, especially when it's Janet. She automatically gets to win on that side. So he's always on that side. So I want to welcome to my show from Soul Face Music platform. Follow him on Instagram, aka Shad. That's his name. I didn't know if I can give out his real name, but that's his platform. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, DT. My name is Deshaun Cox. I am the creator and CEO of Soul Faces Media. I highlight music, fashion, and entertainment. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can subscribe to me on YouTube at Soul Faces Media.
Okay, well, I'm glad everybody was y'all took the time to be on the show with me today. And I got to put my graphic up there. There we go. Now I knew something was wrong with the picture. Yeah, I got my graphic. So y'all got all follow me. Okay, so today we're talking about 70s. And that's what we're gonna start off with. The first episode gonna be 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, and the music of today. So we're gonna start with the 70s, which is not really the era we was born in, but it's an era. It's something. In order to talk about the 80s and 90s, you have to talk about the 70s because the 70s opened up the door for a lot of the artists in the 80s and 90s, and actually artists of today too, because we see a lot of samples of music today. But the first I want to jump into talk about the start of the funk era of R&B. And soul face, when you think of when you first think of funk music in the 70s, who was the first artist come to mind?
When you say funk, I think the first I feel like in the 70s it was more group band heavy.
Hmm.
So it's not really a particular artist that might jump to mind. I'll just automatically go to the bands. And so probably Parliament, Funkadelic.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah.
And if I had to choose an artist, probably Rick James.
Rick James. I
Yeah.
love me some Rick James.
Yeah.
I was telling talking this other day. Funny thing, quick story. I just found out, and it's one of my favorite songs. Um, it
It's a
was
Rick James song?
it's a Rick James song, and I gotta look it up real quick because I just it is Ebony Eyes.
Oh, I love that song. That's one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
I'm gonna get
But that's
smacked on this.
80s though.
No, I know, but for some reason when you say Rick James, I'm gonna go bring. I did not know that was Smokey Robinson on the song.
Oh yeah.
I just found out the other
Oh
day.
man.
I was listening to. I thought it was Rick James. I started listening. I said I love it. So hold on. I was looking to listen to Ray and they said on Rick James featuring Smokey Robinson. I was like, hold on, what? Then I looked. I thought, oh shit, that is down Rick
Yeah.
Smokey Robinson. So
Yeah.
now I was telling my mom that she said, you really thought that was Rick James the whole song. I said, yeah, she said that doesn't even sound like Rick James the whole song. I said
Yeah.
it doesn't, but I said it just Rick voice was so smooth and a hook that
Right.
it kind of blended with Smokey Robinson. My mom like,
But I feel
no,
like they both complemented each
yeah,
other very well. Because Rick has a more powerful voice
Yeah.
yeah.
versus Smokey. He's more mellow. I just thought that it was a real good
Yeah.
contrast.
And I'm sorry I jumped to the 80s so quick on that. It just when you said Rick James, it just brought up that story to me. So when you think of funk music, who's the first artist that power pop in your mind or group?
Like Shaw was saying, for me, when it comes to funk or the 70s, I'm gonna go with the Gap Band.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with the Gap Band. I get they still have some R&B in there, but they have some funky songs.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with
for
you on
sure.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would I would definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, of course, I feel like because how the 70s evolved,
Hmm.
like the sound evolved within like the late 70s and it kind of carried on into the early 80s. I think they were still considering
Yeah.
that um,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, they
that's my
funky.
group. Yeah. That's my group for sure.
See, when I think of funk, I agree with y'all both on that. But also, I'm gonna bring it to the midst James Brown
Mm.
because
Yeah.
James Brown is like
Yeah.
just listen to his music. I feel good. Dun 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 dun. It's just that, and then get up. It's just those sounds is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it open up so
My
much doors.
favorite my favorite James Brown song is Get Up Off of That Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like it's just something about that bass line and it's funky.
yeah.
It's just super funky. That's one of my favorites.
It is Earth, Wind, and Fire. I gotta get them a key.
Yeah.
You know, they got a mixture of R&B, but they have a funk to their style of music. So it was like they was in the style they were dressing. So it kind of
Yeah.
Right.
it had that funkiness in it.
Yeah.
So those are some of the artists I will probably look at when it comes to thinking of funk. But funk opened up so many doors for the start of R&B
Yeah.
because that's when we try to transition and start bringing more harmony and soul into the
Right.
music.
Yeah. And once you get into soul, that's when you get into like the OJs and
Right.
yeah.
But I feel like, we going into the 70s, like I feel like that 60s era. I wonder like what would be the best term to the didn't they describe like that era, like that R&B more as like soul? Of course, like maybe like in the 50s and early 60s, it might have been like a little more doo-wop, I
Yeah.
Hmm.
guess.
Hmm.
But I think as they kind of ushered into the end of that decade, I think they was kind of considering like the R&B, calling it like soul music,
Yeah.
Right, right, right. I agree. Yeah, definitely, definitely. And the '60s, we had a lot of our artists in the '60s. I think it became more popular in that '70s when music started because I think that
Right.
when it started to get to more to
More mainstream.
mainstream albums started selling, because most of the time it was on the chitlin circuit back in the
Right.
50s and 60s.
Right.
Like, it was little small towns, and you had
Mhm.
these companies start investing, and you had black on it. They own record label. Like, we about to jump into the next segment, which is Motown.
Right.
To me, who is the pioneer behind black
Yes.
music and ownership of black owners and
Yeah.
black artists. So, and that was a great segue to jump into Motown, which to me is, when I think of 70s, first thing I think of is Motown.
The best of the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had all of the best black artists on that label. We had our Stevie, we had
Temptations.
Temptation, Stevie Wonder,
Diana
Marvin Gaye.
Ross.
Right. Speaking of the 60s, like all of them, they had their start in the 60s, and I feel like the 70s just sent them over to a
Yeah.
whole nother
Right,
echelon. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when you think of this Motown, when we talking about the Motowns in the 70s, what gets you going? What about Motown that really sits up to you, Keisha?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Michael Jackson for sure. I mean, I feel like I know it's a lot of artists who were on Motown, but when I think of Motown, it just instantly goes to Michael Jackson. Like everything about him.
Okay.
Hmm.
What one song from the 70s that Michael did that stand out to you? Or is it with the Jackson 5? Which one would it be?
Mm, I can go back to the Jackson 5. I Want You Back.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's one of your, like, if
Yeah.
you pop in a Jackson 5 song, that's the first one you listen to?
Hmm. I can jam to him.
Okay. Same thing with you, Soulface. When you think of Motown, who artist stand out to you that you feel like is the pioneer behind Motown success?
Well, outside of Michael Jackson and Jackson 5, I would definitely say Diana Ross.
Okay.
Mhm.
She was definitely the female face
Yeah.
of
Oh, for sure.
Motown.
Right.
For sure.
What song of hers that really stand out to you that you like? That when they play, okay, there's Diana Ross. You know.
From the 70s, I'd probably say this is a few songs that I like from Diana Ross. But Off Gate probably ain't no mountain high enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Yeah, and that's definitely a classic. One of my favorites actually by Diana Ross.
It's a huge 70s
Yeah.
staple
Yeah.
song.
And if I had
Early
to choose,
70s, you know, for
and
sure.
if I had to choose another backup, it would be the Temptations for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure. My girl.
My girl.
And
I
I
know
know,
this.
It
and I,
definitely
go
top
ahead.
3. Yes.
Yeah.
Motown.
Yeah.
I feel like if the masses had to choose, like,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna pick 3 acts
Yeah.
that you feel like stamp,
Yeah.
you know, Motown, yeah, for sure. Jackson 5,
Definitely.
Diana Ross and Supreme, and what did you say again?
I'm about to.
Michael.
No,
I'm about to jump out. I'm about to throw one
not
out.
Michael Jackson.
Marvin Gaye.
The Temptations. Yeah, the
Temptations.
Temptations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I agree with y'all on that, but when I think of Motown, I do think of Michael,
Yeah.
but also I think of Marvin Gaye
Mm.
because it's on what's going on with such an impact in the 70s, and I
Yeah.
still listen to it today, and I try to do that that part right there. I can't sing. I love that part when he be singing that on that. I love that song, and I love when he be just talking on the record,
Yeah.
talking about, like, we needed that as a black community, for somebody to stand up for us
Yeah.
and to fight and put it on wax as it was back
Right.
in the day. And I love that song.
I
Yeah.
wish I'd have been able to experience that era in real time, you know, to actually be in the present
Yeah.
to feel
Yeah.
the direct impact of it. I mean, of course, it's a lasting impact because people still playing it down, you know,
Yeah.
people still using it for different reasons,
Mm.
or whatever the case may be. And also with the whole Motown, I feel like you said, Marvin, Stevie, I
Yeah.
feel like everybody back then in that era was stamped like a gold. You know, like they
Mhm.
all brought something different to the table
Yeah.
that made them stand out. And the legacy still goes on.
Oh, for
Right,
sure.
You
right.
know, the legacy
I have the
definitely
funniest
continues on.
story. We took a family trip to Detroit, Y'all know that's the
Oh,
home for
yeah.
Motown.
Right.
Yes.
And when we got there, because that was really my only reason to go, because I don't care about the GMC building. I don't care about any of that Canada next door. I don't care about none of that. So when we got to Motown, the only thing that was open was the shop. You can only go in the shop because they had the tours closed that day.
It's always
And
like that.
I sat on the stairs and cried so bad. When I say I cried, I'm talking pouting. We're trying to take pictures and stuff. I was like, I don't want to take any pictures. I'm like in tears because that's how much I just love Motown.
And
Love
that's what you
music.
just want to go. You didn't want to go for another reason. That was the reason
That
why.
was it.
And they brought. Yeah, I get.
Because I haven't been to Detroit, but I feel like that's probably one of the main reasons
Yeah.
why I would want to go.
Like
to
I have
visit
pictures and
history.
everything. I'm sitting on the stairs pouting. And I'm a whole adult, like pouting because it's like, why would y'all do this to me?
Right.
But nah, still, I mean, it still was a good trip, but that was really why I wanted to go. And of course, GMC was what invented there. I don't know, but
It's like
cares?
Yeah,
the
it was-
auto capital.
yeah, it was all about Motown for me. And when they were like closed, because I think they were doing like some renovations or something, I was so pissed. I was over it.
Yeah, there's the city for Motown where we
Yeah.
started at, where all the music started there.
Mhm.
We didn't get, and also we didn't. You mentioned, but we didn't give Stevie Wonder prop because he was
Yeah.
a staple in Motown as well. And I love Sir Duke. I like that one that song. I start off with the trumpets.
Mm-hmm.
That
That
gets
came
me
on. I was
going.
riding the
Yeah.
other day, and it came on the satellite radio. I have satellite
I
radio.
do too.
So, what's the name of that station on XM? I think it's the Groove.
Yes, I listen.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that was on one day earlier.
Yeah, you can't forget the infamous "Ribbon in the Sky" for
Yeah.
all wedding songs. So
I know.
yes, yeah, we
Right.
can't forget Stevie.
So going from Motown, we talked about Motown. We talked about funk. We can't forget the disco era. 'Cause
Donna Summers.
Oh yeah,
Donna
the queen.
Summers.
The
Come
queen.
on, Cheryl Lynn. Let's do it.
Yeah, that Lord have mercy. Yeah, the that was the all funky down the lights, the flashing lights on the
The
in
Bee
the dance.
Gees, all of it.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and I feel like even though all those genres are individualized, I feel like they all basically
Yeah.
like kind of are basically the same.
Yeah.
You know.
Like when me and DT were challenging each other, all of the songs that I majority chose made me want to go skate at a disco. Yeah.
You did bring up challenging me, right?
Sorry.
You did bring that up. That,
Sorry.
yeah. Um,
I did not cheat. I don't cheat.
yeah. Would you consider, in a way, Diana to be part of the disco era?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I know some people consider her with R&B, but I think she had some like
Yeah, she has some hits. Yeah.
Glory Gaynor.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
Glory Gaynor will be there. I will survive with 70s or 80s.
late 70s.
They
So
say,
it was
okay.
that disco
Mhm.
era because even though I did not experience this in real time, I'm a music connoisseur, so
Right.
I just tap into it. Like I would say, because I recently, well not recently, but I did a match 1976 versus 79, and so I even had some people in the comments that were saying like, that was like the end of the funk era going into like the beginning of the disco era,
Mhm.
like around 1976. So about 78, 79 was like that core
Yeah.
disco era.
So you say Donna Summers who brings
Oh,
to mind.
yeah.
What do you have a certain song by her or just
I don't know because when I hear her, I just think of disco.
Okay.
And she has a great documentary on Prime. I think it's on Prime. Amazon Prime. Yeah.
I know they were saying they keep talking about like a biopic and having
Kelly Rowland.
Rowland
Yeah.
there, which I feel like would be. I feel like she would really smash it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Kelly Rowland. Huh?
Mhm. Kelly's beautiful. So
Oh, I ain't say that.
yeah, Donna. She was very beautiful.
I'm gonna be honest. If we had to do a biopic, I'm not knocking Kelly like Kelly. I would say Sierra.
Sierra's Donna Summers.
Huh?
Yeah. Not the vocal wise. I ain't talking about vocal.
No,
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 I
no,
ain't
no,
talking about.
no.
I'm talking about.
Even aesthetically wise, like
I couldn't
Kelly is
see it.
spot on. You can't get no more spot
Yeah.
on than Kelly
That's
or
that.
Donna Summer.
Yeah, like I saw their pictures like right next to each other,
I
almost identical.
still go with
Yeah.
Sierra. I think more when if you because Kelly because to me Donna was a dancer and Kelly's not such a dancer in my opinion. I think Sierra could kill it. I think she probably could kill that.
But Kelly can move. You know, she was in a group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she still won stiff with one. Her and Michelle was still. Beyonce killed it, but to me, Kelly still was still to me.
Mm.
When I watched Destiny Child, but we're not to that era yet. I got a lot to say about Destiny Child, but no, we're not.
Okay.
No, I just say Sierra. Kelly would be good. I'm not knocking. I'm not saying
Yeah.
Kelly's not going to be good. I just if I'm going to choose someone, I'm gonna go for Sierra. And if she was, I think when people go out probably looks, I'm going to who will play the character better. Because I think,
Has Sierra acted?
huh?
Has Sierra acted?
Have I seen who?
I said, has she acted?
Yeah,
She's acted. I
she did. What did she do? It wasn't nothing big. She did something. I forgot what. Ain't gonna be no hate on Sierra. Ain't gonna be no hate on Sierra.
No, I like Sierra.
No, I'm just messing with
Yeah.
you. My goodie.
Yeah, I like Sierra.
Yeah.
Nah, okay. So, jumping from a disco era, let's jump to the trend in the style of dress, which was the best of bell bottom. I remember I
The
dressed up.
afros.
The afros. I dressed up for Halloween a few times for the 70s.
Yeah.
Had my grandfather old polyester suit on.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember that Halloween I dressed up like that. I didn't have the afro, but I had the polyester suit on.
The jumpsuits with the flare legs, the bell bottoms.
I feel like each decade had its own way of like expressing, but I feel like the 70s was probably like that decade that was literally like freedom of expression whenever it's
Right.
into what you wore, and not more so like being judged what you have on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, but of course like the afros. And
Yeah.
I feel like it was a lot more classier, like they
Yeah.
wore more two-piece type of suits,
And then it's
the colors.
I forget. I don't know. It wasn't an album cover, but I know it was a picture of the Isleys, and I want to say Ron may have had on like a crop top,
Yeah.
and some
Him
bell
and
bottoms in a
Ernie,
platform,
right.
and it was like, oh, that's something I would wear today.
Yeah.
That they wore back in the 70s. So,
But you know what's fun? I feel like
But I feel like now in the current generation, they will look at this thing like, oh, like that's
Yeah.
sassy. Why you got on the crop top?
I disagree. I think this generation will do that now.
no, they would do that now. But what he's saying is like people will get judged for
Oh,
it.
yeah,
But
people
back in the day, it was like he said, freedom of expression.
But I'm gonna tell you the fun thing. Our generation will be the one to judge, not
Mhm.
Gen Z. Gen
Yeah,
Z
that's what I
won't.
was
Yeah.
saying.
Our
I
generation
feel
will.
like that era was a lot less judgmental whenever it came to
Yeah, for sure.
freedom of expression in various ways.
Well, also, I'm going to say this. I agree with you on that. But how people judge today, it would actually be that generation that dressed like that to judge them dressed like that.
Right,
Now,
right,
but hypocrites.
right.
Even then, like females wearing this like the halter.
Yeah, and that's
shirts,
all they wore
you
back in the
know,
day. Yeah,
little halter shirts or real short mini skirts, and this is like, where you going at? You know, the Daisy Dukes of Hazzard wearing
Yeah.
the short shorts. And,
pull up Soul Train back in the 70s. They have everything.
right,
Yeah.
you know, and
Everything
then
on.
you know our generation come through. You need to put some clothes on.
Yeah,
Then you make it like, well, y'all did it back in your era. Well, they did it for a statement. It was for the movement. They was just part of a group. They didn't go all
Right,
just like that.
What's the difference?
Yes, they did. They did go out just like that.
yeah.
The Isley brother probably went out with that perm and everything with the outfit
Mhm.
on. So but this generation Z, I feel like they could dress like that and they won't judge each other. It'd be the older generation talking about them. But then when you look, but you go tell the older people that, hey, now look at the 60s and 70s. Y'all dress just like that.
Yeah.
Because they went from dressing as full suit with a tie on, the band snapping their fingers together to turn around. They ran
Patterns
and
and
tight
colors
pants and
and-
like skinny jeans, and they doing all that in the 70s. But none of y'all was complaining because y'all was listening to the Ice. Y'all listen to the Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Parliament, Ohio players. Y'all all listen to them. But now, if the generation want to do it now, oh, they sassy, or he's sweet, or she blah blah blah. But hold on, y'all were doing the same thing back then. So why you judging now?
Yeah, my grandmother's having a 75th birthday party,
Mhm.
and we all have to wear 70s attire.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready.
You ready?
Oh, I'm gonna kill it. I already got my wig on Amazon, my
I know that's
afro.
right.
Absolutely. We're gonna kill it.
Got you. So, do you think you all will fit into the dressing style of the 70s?
Absolutely.
I feel like with my aesthetic, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I
'Cause I
can.
feel like back then, like now, like everybody, oh, like I need to get in the gym, to be,
Yeah.
like I was a lot. People are a lot. I guess like the men were like a lot more like slimmer. Like nobody really kind of, like now everybody is more body conscious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's another thing
Yeah.
in regards to what I was saying about that generation not being like as judgmental
Yeah.
whenever it comes to like appearance and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like I could.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know I would kill it. I mean,
yeah.
I'll kill anything low key. Like that's just how my confidence is.
I'm like, okay.
I know
okay.
that's right.
Please.
I do the bell bottom. I love bell bottom. Bell bottom. For some reason, I love the bell bottom. Then the little down. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bell bottom. I'm thinking. I can think about what's happening right now in my head. I just
Right.
when I'm that rock.
Robot.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about the trend fashion. Now, what we cannot forget is about the legendary R&B and soul in the 70s. And the one person you cannot forget when you're talking about 70s and the soul music is the queen of soul, Aretha Franklin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Her impact for women in the 70s opened up so many doors. Even though I know a lot of people a lot of people will go with Diana. I have a lot of people go with Diana Ross, but I will really say Aretha Franklin mine.
Right. I know I won't argue with that because I feel like in the industry in general, like everything is all about like how can I market you, and I feel like Diana was probably the more marketable
Yeah.
type of artist. I'm trying to it's like that now. And I'm trying to think of two artists currently that I can probably like compare it to. I might bring it up in the
And
next show.
real quick, I'm gonna let you get in. One thing about Aretha, Aretha wasn't just that dolled up pretty woman like
Right.
Diana Ross. She
Yeah.
had that rough essay. She wasn't that hourglass figure like you want like Diana Ross come out there. She could sell to the white people and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
Aretha was like, no, I'm gonna be myself.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get out here and sing my song. I'm gonna show y'all how good I sound.
Yeah.
That's what's going to sell, and that will prove.
Y'all gonna look at me crazy, but I was never her fan. I
Okay.
rarely listen to her music.
I noticed when I said her, I mentioned her face. I seen from the corner of my eye the little expression you made on her face. So I already knew that.
I mean, she just was never someone that stood out to me. And I know that's crazy for a lot of people, but for me, I just don't have nothing to say about her.
Okay.
But
It's like we got beef, right?
I
But
guess
no, it's like R.I.P. girl.
But
But
what
no.
Aretha do to her?
But no, it's just I never.
but I get it. It's just sometimes it's just certain artists you just
Yeah,
don't
I don't connect
really
with her. I'm
connect
sorry.
with.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna be,
RESPCT. That's about it. But no.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Before, don't say nothing. I can't wait till we get to the most overhyped artist of the table. I'm just looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it already.
What is it, Aretha?
I know.
She's not overhyped. Y'all love
No,
her.
for you, your personal overhype, but not now. We're not gonna do that. We'll do that in the
Okay.
show. We'll do it in the show. Say that.
Mm.
So, and then when you think of soul vocals, who is the artist that stands to you in the '70s that you just you can just you don't have to watch them. You can just hear their voice, and it's just like boom.
Mm. Mm. When you say soul, geez, it's either gonna be David Ruffin
Okay.
when it comes to vocals,
Okay.
Marvin Gaye, or Ron Isley.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine's is Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh,
Yeah. That raspy. Yeah.
Yeah, Teddy.
We
yes.
ain't mentioned Teddy yet.
Right.
I know
That's
it.
why I was like, oh,
Ooh.
Y'all disrespectful on Teddy. Y'all
Oh, okay, TKO.
Yeah, man.
No, Teddy do got a good voice.
You know who I'm gonna say we haven't mentioned yet?
Who?
Patti LaBelle.
We haven't. I would
Yeah.
choose her over Aretha. And
I
you
would
know, they
choose
had
over.
their issues, but yeah,
I
definitely.
choose Patti over Aretha too.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aretha.
I feel
Sorry, Mom.
like, and like I said, this is just going based off of,
I see
because
the
I
look on his
wasn't there
face.
to experience the 70s in real
I see the
time.
look on his
But I
face.
feel like the 80s is kind of like a little more like when Patty kind of like,
Hit hard.
hit a little more harder than in the 70s. Of course, because she was in the group, the LaBelle group.
Yeah.
And of course, Lady Marmalade,
Mm-hmm.
huge hit, huge 70s samples.
Mhm.
I mean, that's one song that when you bring up the 70s, that's going to be one song that
Yeah.
somebody's going to bring up in conversation, and I think that that's another thing that I love about the 70s so much is that like the music is timeless.
Yeah.
Right.
It's timeless. Many generations, know this music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. But also another person we mentioned,
Who?
Gladys Knight.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And she
On
had
the
an
midnight
earlier
train
start.
to
Like a lot
Georgia.
of
Yeah.
these artists that we discussing in the 70s, like they've been doing it really since
Yeah.
the 60s.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just feel like
Yeah.
when I hear 70s, as far as like hard hitters, I just instantly think of men. All of the men in
Right.
the 70s. Yeah, we got like 4 or 5 women, but the men dominated.
Right. And I noticed that when I put the matches
Yeah.
together
The men
because
dominated for sure.
for those who are watching, that may follow or whatever, I'm very strategic how I put my matches together.
Yes,
Very
he is.
strategic. I have a series called Face Off. I choose 2 different years, pick 5 songs from both of the years, and have them go out together. I let the people decide which year takes it. And I'm learned that everybody kind of scales it different.
Mhm.
I go round for round. You got some people that's just going to vote for a year.
Yeah. Or
You
me.
know,
Or me vote for one song.
yeah, like based off of one song, but to veer back like with the 70s, because I like to try to do group versus group, male versus male, a
Female,
ballad
female.
versus
Yeah.
ballad,
Mhm.
female versus female, and it's very limited
Yeah.
in the
The
70s.
men
Very
took over.
limited,
The
very
men
very
in
limited.
the groups. The
Yes,
band.
very very
Yeah.
very group
A lot of
heavy,
men. Mhm.
very group heavy.
Well, you did know who came up with the song? It's a man's world. James Brown.
James Brown.
But as Beyonce said, girls.
I know, but I'm
Rock
talking
the
about that.
world.
No, but I'm talking about the 70s. I'm going to say because you said men ruled the music, so that I'm saying he came out and said man, but he did say at the end, it won't be nothing without a boy or without a what he said without a woman or a girl, something like that.
Yeah.
So he did say that. I'm just saying he did say, but you in the 80s, I mean 70s, it was a male dominant
Yeah, for sure.
business, and the women were just there. They wasn't making the money the men was making.
Yeah.
They was not giving the same respect, or they had to work harder, and they wasn't really getting booked like men
Right.
was. They wasn't getting gigs, and if they did get a gig, they had to open up for a bunch of men, even
Mhm.
if they may be better than the artists they opening up for. It's just because of the fact that they're a female, and you stay in the female's spot. Let the men, as we say, as we joking in my office sometimes when we have women call up there, my boss be like, well, she needs you to go make some cookies. And we'll be in the kitchen making some cookies, and I am making business call. It's a joke, inside joke, inside joke. It's something happening. We not male chauvinist pigs in my office, but that what we saying. She just need to get on the kitchen and bake some cookies. Don't get offended by that, people. It was a joke. But yeah, so when I think of vocals, like I said, I know Patty's more 80, but I still think of Patty, think of Gladys, I think of Marvin Gaye, I think
Yeah.
of Teddy P, I think of the Ice, but Ron Ice, I think of all these people with like spectacular. But I just think of the Jackson Five where they harmonized.
Yeah.
Isaac Hayes, Curtis Mayfield.
Oh yeah.
We left off them because they the
Yeah.
pioneer. Like Isaac Hayes, like that deep voice and
Mhm.
Shaft, the theme to
Right.
Shaft. It just it go on and on. You can just sit here and talk about the 70s. You think like
Yeah.
then when you start talking about the 70s, you listen to some of that stuff, you come up with stuff that's today that has a lot of do with 70s, open the
Right.
door for
Because
that.
even with us talking about the 70s, and I know we're gonna get to the 90s later, the 90s heavily sampled the
Oh
70s.
yes,
yeah.
You know,
definitely.
you mentioned Isaac Hayes and Curtis Mayfield. Their music has been sampled so much,
Yeah.
so
They're
much
getting
by
paid so
90s
much money
artists.
right now.
Like I know their estate living lavish,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
they don't got to work another day, especially if they the one who wrote
Oh
it and everything.
yeah,
If
yeah,
they wasn't it wasn't written
yeah.
for them, if they did the writing,
Yeah, they had
they
the
getting paid.
compose and the
Oh yeah,
range, and you know, back then they were using real live instruments.
yeah,
Right. And that's why
You know,
I love live music, love instruments.
I
Like
do, I do.
now everything is
computerized, you know,
yeah.
digital.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump into like an album, soul album that stands out in the 70s. Who would you put as a key album, one of the albums that you like is a staple from the 70s that really stood out?
Mm.
I think I already mentioned mine's once, but I probably say it again. Actually,
Mm.
two people I got.
Who?
I got Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, and Stevie Wonder In the Key of Life.
Mm.
The
I was
songs
gonna
in the
say
Key of
that.
Life, I'm sorry.
Right, I was gonna say that for me.
Those like the two that stood out, even though I know we have so many iconic albums from
Yeah.
the 70s. Those are the two that I could take there and probably put
Oh, we didn't even
like,
say Al Green.
oh,
Wow,
Mm.
yeah, he's
I'm sorry, Al, I disrespect. That was disrespectful. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Uh,
Sorry, Reverend.
so in love with you. I
Oh
didn't even
yeah.
originally. I didn't know that. Originally, when I first heard that, it was Tina Turner, and
Mm-hmm.
I did not know it originated from
Yeah,
her.
my mama ran Al Green out.
and that
Out.
just goes to show you like our top tier the
Yeah.
70s is so much quality music, quality artists.
Who did that? Real quick, who did that song better? Tina or Al?
Which one?
Al Green.
What song?
Um, what was that song? God, I was just had on. I was just singing. So when
Let's Stay Together?
let's say together.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Tina Turner did that.
Oh yeah, she got home verse together.
I
She
didn't know
remade it.
that. She's 70s too.
Yeah.
Well,
She did in the 80s. She
Yeah.
did it. I think she
I'm
did
just saying
it.
she's
Yeah, she
Yeah.
said.
I mean, I rarely listen to that version,
Okay.
but I'm gonna go with Al Green.
yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with Al Green. I didn't even know Tina.
Yeah.
Okay. So what album? What album stand out to you from that?
I can't think of an album. I Want You Back by Jackson 5.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Yeah.
Love the Jackson Five. Let me rephrase. I love them, but I wasn't like I ain't. I'm not gonna go throw on the Jackson Five album. I'm not gonna go just listen to them. They got a couple songs I would listen to, but it wasn't. I more became a fan when Michael went solo. But what about an album for you?
He did go solo in the 70s.
Yeah, I want to talk about that's
Right.
why I saw.
It was
And he went
79.
he went solo twice.
Yeah, can
'Cause
you rock with
he
you? Though?
started doing solo projects when they were still the Jackson 5.
Right.
Then they went from the Jackson 5 to the Jacksons. He was still doing music. And then after that, that's whenever
Yeah.
he went solo again outside of Motown. I think his Off the Wilds was released under Epic Records, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah. Yeah, he had already went solo.
What's the album that sent out to you from the tip?
Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life, like you said, that's one for sure.
What's your favorite track off the album? If you had to pick one, you go pop in and listen to first.
Man, there's so many good songs on that album.
Well, you are
Probably Another Star.
okay.
I like Another Star.
Y'all gonna shoot me down, but I really didn't vibe with Stevie like that either. Some songs,
But I get it.
like
You know, like
5, maybe.
with me, it's just like, oh, it might be a song, you know,
Yeah.
for certain artists. You know, like you were
Yeah.
saying, like Aretha, you know, it's songs of hers that I
Handpicked,
like.
yeah.
You
Just a
know.
little. Sorry. Shout out.
But yeah.
Ain't no need to be
Another
sorry.
Star for sure.
I like the fact that you're not just following the trend. Just
Oh,
like,
no.
yeah, I love. Oh, Stevie was the greatest artist, and in your mind, you're like, God,
That's never gonna be me.
Oh yeah.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
So let's I want to kind of move on this real quick. So we're gonna jump on to some of the key producers and songwriters from the 70s because we had a lot, and we of course you know my favorite Well, mine gonna be Quincy Jones.
Yeah, for
Quincy,
sure.
Quincy opened up so many doors, especially with Michael Jackson. I
Yeah.
think Michael Jackson to me, even though I know he had a lot of artists in the past, I think Michael the one took him to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Like he
Yeah.
he did like the theme song to the Sanford song, which is one of my
Right.
favorite theme
Yeah.
songs. He did it. Was he the Jeffersons? Did he? No, he didn't do the Jeffersons. He did some other TV show. I don't
Like
remember.
like one of my favorite Quincy Jones projects is the Wiz.
Yeah,
Mm.
Like
okay.
I listen to the Wiz soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like he did his big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Big one.
and then that's when we got to see Diana and Michael on the screen together, which was one of my
Mhm.
favorite movies, The Wiz.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we got to hear Ease on Down the Road. So yeah, Quincy to me
He might be
is
top.
he
Oh
he he
yeah.
probably one of the best
Yeah.
producers to me of all time. He's definitely in the top.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
the GOAT. You know, he's the trailblazer, for
Right.
everybody else that came after him.
Right. He opened the doors for a lot of other producers such as R. Kelly, Jimmy
Okay.
Jam, Terry Lewis,
Okay.
Let's
Timberland,
get into it.
um,
Okay.
Teddy Riley.
Teddy is one of my favorites.
You could go down the list. Quincy
Yeah.
opened the doors for Kenny Babyface
Yeah.
Edmonds.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You could just keep going to all the doors he opened up for. Without Quincy, it probably wouldn't be none of them because
Yeah.
they
And some of them, to be honest, they haven't. When you go to producing like whole scores for movies, like who else has done that in
Yeah.
regards to like a black producer?
right.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Like I said, that Motown documentary was good. It was real good.
Definitely, I gotta check it
I
out.
have to check it
I
out
gotta
as
check it out.
well. But for me, you can't talk about like you already mentioned it because I was like, dog, when you mentioned us, Isaac Hayes,
Right.
Yeah.
Curtis Mayfield. You can't talk about the 70s without um goodness.
You know who we forgot? Jeffrey Osborne. That voice.
On the wings of
Yeah,
love.
yeah. LTD.
Oh yeah, I seen him in a concert. Got to see him in a concert to my mom. This is one of my most disappointing concerts. Tell you why. My mom and I both are huge. We both like Jeffrey. So we went to see him.
Okay, first name basis.
Yeah, Jeffrey Osborne. Jeffrey. They call him Jeffrey. He told me to call him Jeffrey. So we went to see him perform. It was him, the OJs, and I forgot who else was on the show. So it was a Valentine's Day show. So it was me, my wife at the time when I was married, her parents and my parents. So we all went to see the concert. And Jeffrey was the closing. He was closing the show. He got out there. Jeffrey performed probably like for an hour and 25 minutes. He did an hour of the show of remakes of other people's songs. He did like maybe 2 or 3 of his songs. And my mom was so heated. Mom was like, I can't even see Jeffrey. I didn't come to hear him sing other people's songs because we literally,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not like he did an hour of other people's songs. He wasn't doing his own music. He was doing music of now like the music from the 90s.
Yeah.
And he did On the Wings of Love. And he did a couple songs, but majority was all. And my mom was so mad after the show. She was like, I don't want to see. I don't want to see him no more.
Yeah, never again.
She's, I'm good. She's like, I seen what I seen. I came to see a good show. And she was getting all prepared because she talking about what song she wanted to hear. And he didn't even do none of the songs she really wanted to hear.
Yeah.
She said, I know he did On the Wings of Love, but that's not the one. I want to hear some of those album cuts that real good. But so it was real disappointing for me to see that. And that was my last time seeing Jeff on the concert.
But also, you can't talk about 70s without Gamble and Huff.
Yeah.
Norman Whitfield, Barry White.
Yeah.
B-Dub.
Yeah.
That's that voice. I always want to sound like Barry White.
So in addition to Isaac Hayes and Curtis Mayfield, I feel like those 5, like songwriting and producing, I feel like they probably carry.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I always wish I had a voice like Teddy P or Barry White or Curtis Mayfield. I hate that voice. You can talk. I want that. I always want that.
So soulful.
So
That's why they call it.
And then I can talk to the women and how they talk to that women.
Could you imagine if you had a child and one day they just started talking so deep like that? Like, whose child is this? What is this? But it carried him. It took him a long way.
So we're gonna jump to the best part of the show. The end of the show. Well, not the best part of the show, but the best part. We're gonna talk about our top 5 artists that personally, your person, not what the people say, not what Billboard said, your top 5. And we're gonna start. Everybody gonna do 5, and then we'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. And after that, we're gonna talk about our most overrated, and we're gonna wrap up the show. So we're gonna start with number 5.
Is 5 going to be?
It gonna be number 1. Gonna
We
be your
gotta
favorite.
rank it.
Y'all want to rank?
I don't know if I should rank it because, I mean,
Let's put it like this:
I
5
already
if they
know
was in
who-
concert. If they in concert, you go rank the top 5. Who will be if they was dead or alive? It could be dead or alive. If they were having a concert today, we're gonna do your 5. Who will be your top 5 that you want to see live?
okay, Gap Band. Isley
Okay, hold on.
Brothers.
We're gonna do it together. We're gonna do it together.
Oh,
So who number
my
5
bad.
on your list?
And it's no in
You don't say
it's
no
order.
Mine's in order, y'all.
Gap.
Yeah,
I
mine's
got
not gonna be in order.
I got Gap Band.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Mine's Jackson 5. Who's your number 4?
The Isleys.
I'm gonna probably go with. It's groups. I just think
It could be single, it could artists because I got groups on mine. I said Jackson 5. I got sing. It could be solo too.
I'm gonna go. Rick James.
Okay. Well, I know you said not order, so I know you.
Okay.
So I'm about to mention we didn't even talk about.
I was gonna say Shaka next.
Damn, I was about to say Shaka. I was like, I'm gonna say
Her and
Shaka
Rufus,
next.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so my number 4 we didn't even talk about the Whispers, and I actually seen them in concert. And I love the Whispers.
They came out in the 70s though.
Yeah, they came out early. They came out 80s, but they got 70s music too. But I would start. They got some 70s.
I'm not too big on them. I mean, it's a couple of songs that I like by them.
I love.
I'm not like too big on them.
I could listen to their music. I've seen them at concert too, so it was pretty good. I'm gonna start off with number 3 real quick. It's Stevie Wonder.
Okay. Cheryl Lynn.
Marvin Gaye.
Number 2.
Should I take it?
I could go first.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
We said, we can name people that we've already mentioned.
Yeah. Who is your list?
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely see them too. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah.
I have seen it before. All right, that's just a great show.
I got one. My other.
I know who my number 1.
Because I'm not too big on her. It's just a few songs by her.
We already know who my number 1 on the other side is.
My number 1, I've been mentioned all the way through the show.
I'll say probably the Michael Jackson.
Who's your number 1?
Oh, I'm gonna give it to my boys, the OJs.
OJs. I seen them in concert
Yeah.
too.
You've seen everybody.
He was in the concert. They was with the Jeffrey, and he was drunk. They were drunk on stage.
I wasn't even thought of.
He was drunk.
Yeah.
They were literally. He was
didn't even really bring them up like that, and they definitely.
Yeah, I love the OJ.
My number 1 is Marvin Gaye. Get Up Live. He was alive. I would love to see him.
There's no particular ranking.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm trying to think of somebody underrated because there was so many artists that came through, just like in every decade. Is this they might look at them as a one-hit wonder, or they put out a good bit of quality music, but just didn't get that recognition, that they deserve. I'm gonna say Roberta Flack.
Okay.
Even though it's like I said, it's just certain songs that I like from her. But I'll say her just give her some love because I feel like she's very underrated. She's not really brought up as much as she should be.
Yeah.
So my favorite part. I'm not gonna get saying, who do you think is who's the most overhyped or overrated artist? I can't wait to hear your in the 70s that everybody that they was on this artist, they love this group, but you like, not for me. I could pass.
I'm passing on Aretha, hands down. That's so mean. But no, for real, I'm passing. I'm sorry. She just never did it for me.
Okay, get you. I feel you. Then you go same page. Go ahead.
For me, I'm probably gonna say Diana Ross.
I'm up there with you on that one too.
Now we all got
Yeah,
women.
she has certain songs that I like, but I feel like because my mom was like, she was like the Beyonce of the 70s.
Mhm.
She
Yeah.
was like that. Like that's just like
Yeah.
the standard that they held her on. But and I like vocally, I just feel like she can carry a tune.
There aren't any, but go ahead.
I'm like, oh, okay, I mean, which every artist, I respect different singing styles or
Yeah.
whatever because it just works, and you don't have to be like what the masses would consider the most
Yeah.
vocal to still put out good quality music.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm no singer. I mean,
yeah,
low key, I am. Like low key, I am. You know it. And Diana just she don't do it for me either. Yeah, no.
I just think she was very good to market.
Yeah, because she's
So,
beautiful.
so we all have women on our list. Mine's is Shaka Khan. I'm a fan of Shaka. I could pass on Shaka.
Look, me and Shaw like,
I
okay.
could pass on Shaka.
Like his opinion on that.
I could pass on Shaka. Shaka didn't do nothing for me. She's rude in person. I just
Now that I heard,
Yeah.
yeah, I one of my friends, she worked at the radio station, actually with Magic 107.5, and she interviewed Shaka and said Shaka was very rude. She said that was the rudest person she ever interviewed. Said Shaka came in the studio smoking cigarettes, and she told her you can't smoke cigarettes in here. And Shaka looked at her and kept on smoking.
Mm,
So but her music it never really appealed to me
yeah.
until Whitney did "I Am Every Woman." Then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool. And then they said Shaka did that song. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Whitney did.
And that's the thing, like people like behind the scenes, like as far as like their personal life and all of that, I don't got nothing to do with like if she got a bad attitude, that's on her. But when it comes to like her music and stuff, and that not just her, just anybody, when it comes to their music, that's just what I focus on.
Oh yeah, I do too. I was just throwing that out there. But yeah, I'm just not Shaka.
and
Yeah.
speaking on the comment that you just made, like cancer culture is a very big thing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And another page that I follow, me and the guy have a pretty good rapport, Slow Jams for Life. He made a post the other day basically saying like what would be like a reason, to cancel or like who do you have on your cancel list or something in regards to like
Music or
artists
something.
that
Yeah.
you canceled. And my response was, I don't have a cancel list. So I unless I because I like you said, you don't know these people
Yeah.
personally. Um so if I feel like if I resonate with the music, that's what I
Yeah.
resonate with. Now I feel like if I encounter them, if I have a real life encounter with them and they're rude and nasty, or even if I see something, I might be like, oh, okay, now that might kind of turn me off.
Yeah.
That might turn me off from them, but I don't think that would be unless like they downright like disrespected me or something like that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
just be like, okay, like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
deal with listening to your music or whatever the case may be. Other than that, it's just
Yeah.
like it is what it is.
Well, guys, guy and lady, be prepared. Been awesome talking about the 70s. I really
Yes.
enjoyed
I
it.
love the
We
70s.
covered a lot. We probably missed a lot too, because you're gonna pack so much into an
Yeah.
hour,
Yeah.
man. There's so many artists that we could talk about that's coming up. I can't wait to get to the 80s
I
and 90s.
know.
Make sure y'all tune into
Yeah.
those because we got a lot to talk about, especially the 90s. I think in the midnight we probably overtake everything. But I really do appreciate you all joining me on this episode of the 70 Love Groove.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. And I hope we actually brought attention to people who don't listen to the 70s, that younger generation to actually go out there and listen because it's a lot of your favorite artists today.
Yeah.
Music reflects on what happened in the 70s. So you definitely gotta listen to it because it's not just about what you hear now. Because a lot of your music now, you go back to the 70s, you say, oh, they did it. Because I see a lot of times people say, oh, so did this song. I'll be like, they said, but it was done back in the 70s. Oh, but so did it better. Did you listen to it? No, but I know that. No, see that you already lost the battle when you said I didn't even listen to it. You just already giving props to
Mm-hmm.
Right.
your artists and not giving respect to the ones who open the door for them.
Right.
So I appreciate you all tuning in. You want to give any shout outs real quick?
Oh no. No, I'm good.
You want to give any shout outs to tell people how they can follow you real quick? We'll rip it off.
Well, once again, Deshaun Cox, Soul Faces Media. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and subscribe to YouTube at Soul Faces Media.
And this is your boy DT from DT's Unfiltered, Uncensored. You can follow me on all social media. It's at the top of my screen. Make sure you just type it in. You can follow me on every platform. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that little bell button at the bottom. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I look forward to seeing y'all on the next episode when we're talking about the 80s. And I'm looking forward to that conversation. Thank you all once again, and I can't wait for the next show.
Absolutely.
All right, and this is your boy DT.
It's DT.
You have just now listened to the most talked about podcast in the country. DT, Unfiltered, Uncensored. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.
Damn. DT.